Hi there. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 of the most unexpected blunders by one of the strongest grandmasters in the world, and that's no other than Russian grandmaster Peter Svidler. Now, Peter is also an internet sensation. He makes lots of videos, and those videos are funny, they're witty, and they're very instructional. I highly recommend them. I watch them myself, and they're fun to watch, and you always learn something or another. Okay, now Peter has been one of the top 10 grandmasters in the world for many years, nearly 20 years. I know that he's gone down a little bit now, but he remains a formidable player. Not long ago, he lost that critical match against Karjakin after leading 2-0, and he was on the verge of winning the third game. We will be taking a look at that game because the one of the blunders, the fifth blunder, it's got to do with that. Now, what else can I say about Peter? He's a very open-minded guy. He's also one of the most anglophile Russian players ever. Like he likes English music, he likes TV shows, he even loves cricket. Okay, it's his favorite sport. And he's just an very entertaining player to watch on the internet. He's great. He's great. What can I say? But that doesn't mean that he doesn't make blunders, of course, or that people can't make blunders, can't make videos about his blunders. So we're going to be taking a look at 5 of those blunders, and we're going to start off with this one. Peter was something like 16 or 17 at the time. But he was already Grandmaster's friend. He was 24.95. He's white. He's playing against Grandmaster Malaniuk. And in this position, move 16, Peter now went knight takes d5. An incredible blunder by Grandmaster. Now, what is Peter thinking here? Well, he's hoping for queen takes, and then he's going to get rid of the knight, which is protecting the queen, so that after the bishop takes back, then he can go bishop h7 check and then pick up the queen. Unfortunately, there is an in-between move that he didn't see. After queen takes d5, bishop takes f6, black can simply go bishop b7, which not only protects the queen, but also threatens checkmate on g2. So if white protects, black can simply take back, and now discovered check is completely useless because the queen is protected. So Peter is a piece down, and he resigned here. Very unexpected from a top grandmaster like him. Let's move on to blunder number 4. Actually, blunder number 2. I make blunders all the time myself. Here we go. Okay, and this is a very interesting position. White's a little bit better. He's got the 2 bishops. It is true that white has weakened his kingside a little bit, and this pressure against g2, combined with that rook, but still, white's position is just better here. The rook is under attack, and Peter was in time trouble. I know that that's no excuse, because if you get into time trouble, it's because your opponent has been putting pressure on you, has been forcing you to find the best move, and the best move all the time, and that takes time. So being in time trouble, it's no excuse for making blunders. Don't forget that. Still, it's a difficult position because where does the rook go? And I'm pretty sure that Peter thought about rook to a8, but he was a little bit worried about bishop here, and then if the knight moves out of the way, say f5, which looks like a good square, possibly intending knight to e3, then bishop to d5 is very, very annoying, because we're attacking the queen and the rook is on, so the queen would have to move, and then the rook can be picked up, and we'd have to calculate the consequences of that, and it's not something that you can do in time trouble. So, and pretty much the same happens if you move your rook here, I guess. Maybe rook a3. Maybe rook a3 was an alternative, preventing bishop to c3. But we still have to consider a simple move like bishop to b4. And again, black has the same problem. If the rook goes back to a8, then bishop to c3. Yeah, so he played rook here. He probably didn't analyze this move, but he didn't like rook to a8. So it was a choice between 2 bad options. But the problem with rook b2 is that it's just too bad. The move is just a blunder. After bishop to c3, the rook is on, the knight is on. He's losing the piece. You can't play rook here because I can simply take on d4 and the bishop is protected. So he resigned. He resigned. He realized that he had nothing for the piece. So there you go. And this game was played against the virus, who's rated 2580 in Russia in 1995. Peter was 2635 at the time. Very, very unexpected blunder, but then again, he was in time trouble. The game had been difficult. Understandable. Okay, so let's move on. And this is the game between Peter Svidler against Peter Leko, played in 1997. And Peter Svidler is a pawn up, so he's got some winning chances. It is true that those bishops are not bad in this position. It's not going to be easy to make progress as white, because the extra pawn is on the queen side, and that's where the black king is, and f6 could be a little bit weak, but very difficult to attack and very easy to defend. So it's not going to be an easy game for white to win. The most likely result in this game would be draw, but still, you know, with a pawn up, we could fight on for a long time. But there was no need for that, because after king to c2, which is a big blunder, black simply took on f5, and of course after pawn takes, the bishop would fall. So a shocking blunder, completely unexpected from a top grandmaster like Peter Svidler. You know, maybe you should have played bishop here, attacking these, we protect that, and slowly, you know, we try to make progress on the queen side. Perhaps, you know, one day we might have to play c4 and support c5 if we can. It's not going to be easy, but, you know, we could fight on. We could fight on. We've seen Carlsen try even more equal positions than these. So with an extra pawn, why not? So king c2, huge blunder, bishop takes, and the game ended in a quick draw after knight here and beat knight there. And, you know, we just get bishops of opposite color here, after a5, king here, you know, completely drawn position. So that was blunder number 3. Let's move on to blunder number 4. And here we go. And this is an interesting position where black has to choose which rook to put on d8. Now, the most logical move is the move that Peter played. He played rook from e to d8, which turns out to be a blunder. But why is that more logical? Well, if you move this other rook, then the pawn on a7 is under attack. But that was actually the best move, because after queen takes, rook here, queen here, bishop here, attacking f2, and then we can go e5, and this pawn is going to fall, and black actually has a pretty good position. But instead, by doing it, using the other rook, suddenly white's got a beautiful tactical idea, which is rook takes e6. Beautiful idea, because now if pawn takes, bishop takes, king here, and then queen f3, or even queen g2, you know, and there's no way to stop queen to h3 with a checkmate attack against the black king. And this was Hari Krishna playing white at the Dresden Olympiad in 2008. Peter Svidler was 27-27 at the time. Okay, beautiful tactical idea. Of course, after rook takes e6, Peter didn't take, but after queen to f3 with more pressure, the rook still can't be taken. Knight here, rook here. There's too much pressure on f7, and Peter resigned, like he's got nothing here. It's too much of an attack. There are threats like simple bishop e3 and queen takes f7. You know, this X-ray attack against f7. No point fighting on. Okay, and let's see the last blunder by Peter Svidler. And it's one of the most dramatic ones, because Peter was winning this match against Karjakin. He was leading 2-0. And in this game, he had a winning position. This was the position that was reached after move 27. And here, queen to c3, attacking the queen, discover attack, the rook is behind, this rook is on, the rook on f6 is pinned, just about perfect move. And here, you know, maybe black would have to try queen to f5, with the idea that if rook takes, then he's got knight takes h3. But after rook takes, knight takes, instead of taking here, because that's only a draw with queen takes, and then at least a draw for black, and well, I guess it's going to be a draw with a piece. Actually, maybe if we take that, then queen takes, king h2, queen f2 check, and then maybe black can consider picking up the knight with his queen. But the thing is, white doesn't have to take the knight. He can go king to h2 exclamation mark, because after queen takes, knight takes pawn, and then that rook is on, and white's winning material. He's just winning. This position is completely winning. Instead of that, Peter took on f2, because if you look at the position after queen takes, rook takes, white takes on f6, and if the king takes, then knight takes d5 with a beautiful knight fork against king and rook, completely winning for white. Unfortunately, black's got a better move. He can go queen to h4, double exclamation mark, with an attack against the rook. This one is on also, and suddenly things are very complicated. So, however, even at this point, white can still fight for a draw. Actually, it's probably a draw after queen takes, king here, pick up the knight, and then something like this. Because this rook, can't get to b1, so the attack with the queen and the rook, with the queen, it's just a draw. The black rook cannot join the attack. So here we're just gonna get a draw with all these checks everywhere. Okay, and the king can't go to f1 because then the rook joins the attack. So the king's gonna go here, and then actually maybe this queen d4 is not a very good move. Yeah, we're going to go queen here instead. Yeah, okay. So that if king here, the rook joins the attack. I'm not using my mouse very well today. So the king's going to go to h2, and then we've just got a draw here after queen to f4. Unfortunately, after queen h4, Svidler played queen to d2, double question mark, because now black can take on f2, and if queen takes, then this rook on e1 is just lost and completely winning. It's completely winning for black. So Peter played queen to c3, but then d4, queen c7, and the rook comes to f7, and it's all over. And this was a dramatic turn of events. Peter played really well up to this point, and he would have been on 3 out of 3 in a match of 8 games. So I don't think Karjakin would have had much of a chance after that. But the way it happened, of course, Karjakin went on to win the match later, at one point reaching 4 points for all, and then they had to play the tie break, which Karjakin won. A dramatic game, and one kind of feels sorry for him because this was probably his last shot at being world champion. Not an easy task, of course, but he probably deserved better luck. But who says there's luck in chess?
See the subscribe button, hug it, show it some love, but above all, click it. And don't forget to visit our website, chess.clinic.